This NAFP Spotlight is brought to you in part by the United Negro College Fund Special Programs Corporation and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. In an effort to enhance the professional development of NASA employees and STEM faculty at minority institutions, NASA developed the NASA Administrators Fellowship Program. Through this premier program, NAFP works to increase the ability of these minority institutions to respond to NASA's overall research, development, and educational mission.
To highlight and honor the achievements of his fellows, the NASA Administrators Fellowship Program spotlights Dr. Rudy Gastowski. Taking the opportunities as they come is the motto of Rudy Gastowski, a senior researcher at Marshall Space Flight Center. Graduating with a PhD in chemistry from his hometown of Southern Illinois at Carbondale in 1993, Dr. Rudy Gastowski can still recall vividly where his interest in science comes from.
I think the reason why I got into science, I could go back to my aunt when I was probably in 4th grade. We found a book in the library. It was a Boy Scout book on chemistry, and it had instructions in there of how you could build your own chemistry lab at home. This was a long time ago when you could do those sorts of things. How you could use common ingredients, common things you would find, and you could build a chemistry lab and do your own experiments.
During his undergraduate studies, his chemistry professor, Mark Bausch, took a strong interest in Gastowski and recruited him to assist in building a laboratory.
I agreed to do it, came in, started helping him set up his new lab. He was a new professor at the school. Working as an undergraduate researcher, which I really believe that the undergraduate research experience is very important for the education of anyone in the sciences. I think that you should have that hands-on experience. If you want to get philosophical about it, you can look at Aristotle and his comments about we learn by the doing of the act, not by just simply thinking about it.
After 5 years as a researcher with NASA, Dr. Gastowski began looking for opportunities that would allow him to share his NASA knowledge.
I was looking for opportunities of how I could be more involved in education. And I learned of an orientation that was going to be held for the NAFP, the NASA Administrators Fellowship Program. And I really didn't know what it was about, so I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and attend. And I heard speaking Gilbert Knowles, talking about the program and some of the prior participants. And it sounded like, again, a good fit, just like I said, with graduate school. Again, it seemed like a good fit, that I could make a contribution to the program and that the program offered me some opportunities that I would like to look into.
In 2005, Rudy attended a NAFP orientation, traded his lab coat for lesson plans, and joined the NAFP, an 18 to 22-month fellowship program that allows NASA employees to teach and/or conduct research at a minority institution of their choice. With materials in hand, Rudy began looking for an institution.
Okay, where can I go to do this? A lot of the folks at Marshall had gone to some of the local colleges, the local HBCUs, such as A&M, Alabama A&M, but I thought, well, I'd like to go to a school that's not really had a fellow previously. And I had had some prior affiliations with Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. While I was working at Austin Peay, we would have professional meetings at times at Fisk. I had learned to know some of the faculty there and thought, well, that would be a good school. It's a school that's not had a fellow before, that I would actually be bringing something to the school, and that the school had a lot of possibilities.
While teaching at Fisk, Dr. Gastowski immediately implemented his hands-on approach by having his students from the university build their own laboratory in the basement of W.E.B. Du Bois Hall.
I thought, though, from my experience as an undergraduate, again, that doing undergraduate research was key to the educational experience, and was trying to figure out how we could incorporate that into what we were doing at the university. I was doing some research and then teaching the classes, but I wanted to have the undergraduate students involved in what was going on. So tried to find projects that they could do. I thought, though, that to ask them to do this in not really a vacuum, because there was other students doing undergraduate research, it would be better to try to create a more encompassing climate for that. So tried to bring together a sort of a grassroots organization of other faculty that wanted to see undergraduate research occurring with their students.
You know, the fence is staying yellow, so you can put pinstripes on all the fence.
That would be the thing. I think that would be a nice touch, like, you know, like you would do on custom cars.
Yeah. With his student researchers anxiously awaiting the next school year, Rudy attended a research symposium co-sponsored by UNCFSP and NASA Ames and discovered information that would happily challenge him and the students at Fisk for the following school year.
While I was at the symposium, I was just having a casual conversation with the University Affairs officer at Marshall Space Flight Center, and he asked me if I was aware of the University Student Launch Initiative program. And I said, I knew a little bit about it. I didn't think that we were doing it currently at the time, and he said yes, that was correct, that they had discontinued, but that they were just starting it up again that year, and would we like to participate? And I said, seems like a good idea. I think we'd like to do this. He got us into a workshop for that, and I came back to the campus and began looking for some people to work with on that program. And I already knew Kent Wallace. He's a faculty person in physics, and I said, you know, Kent, do you think we want to do this? Does this seem like something that you can put some time in, because this is going to take a lot of time? And he said it sounds like a great idea, and that's how we got started with the rocket program.
After physics professor Kent Wallace agreed to help jumpstart the rocket program, Wallace and Gastowski created FAAMT, the Fisk Altitude Achievement Missile Team.
Over the years, I can tell you that it has been very obvious that he had become very endeared to the university. You'd think that he went here himself or had been working here 50 years. He's gone out of his way to be intimately involved in our institution and to benefit it in as many ways as he could by, like, bringing Dr. Jenkins here for a particular function a couple years ago, and his work with us with the rocket program. So I can't tell you how much I've been impressed by the fact that he has taken on this university as though he had an intimate connection to it.
Equal and opposite motion. So that's how
with outreach and service as components of the university's core values, Dr. Gastowski and his team of students visit area elementary and middle schools to launch rockets in hopes of sparking an interest in STEM. Fisk also recruits students from Nashville's Martin Luther King Science High School to build a robot that will collect data for the Fisk rocket.
Someone might have the stereotype that the institution is this place that sits on high and this regal thing, but they don't quite realize that the university sits inside of a community. And beyond the perspective of just educating is a service to the community, because without the community, we wouldn't be here. So we have a service element to our students and to our faculty that goes outside of just what's required of you.
Annually, FAAMT enters into the NASA-sponsored Student Launch Project in Huntsville, Alabama. The objective of the student launch is to build a rocket that will deliver a scientific payload to an altitude of 1 mile. Fisk, which does not have an aerospace program, will be competing against 10 colleges and universities with strong aerospace programs.
Back and up, that's it.
Nashville-based Griffin Technology is also dedicated to student success. Their engineers volunteer their time to support FAAMT in the rocket launch competition.
We're here helping the Fisk Altitude Achievement Team with their electronic payload. Essentially, we've been working all year, at least once a week, planning and designing the different experiments and the telemetry, which in real time transmits the rocket data to the ground control station here. So we have several different telemetries. We've got a live video feed, and we also have a data feed that sends several parameters down, including altitude, GPS coordinates, and the like.
With crunch time swiftly approaching and questions swirling from the judges, Dr. Gastowski leads his team as they work diligently to make the launch deadline. As the rocket stands proudly on the launch pad, The FAAMT team is content and eager to see how high their hard work will take them this year.
As you can see, it was a successful launch. We did not achieve 1 mile as we had hoped, but we brought our rocket back. Our payload, our robot, was ejected as we had planned. Unfortunately, the ejection has caused considerable damage to the robot.
Really proud of the kids. They were persevered under extreme difficulties today. They just continued to hang in there no matter what. And I want to thank NASA. I want to thank the Marshall Space Flight Center, the NASA Administrators Fellowship Program, UNCF for their support. I want to thank Griffin Technologies for their support, and for Tennessee Space Grant Consortium for their support, because without that it wouldn't be possible.
By providing minority institutions a link to NASA, the NAFP Fellows inspire young scientists to enhance their talents towards a national research agenda. By offering hands-on research, the NAFP educates and employs the workforce of tomorrow, our STEM champions. The United Negro College Fund Special Programs Corporation, serving as a portal between the vision of minority institutions and the funding priorities of our nation.